parents are told it's just imagination. But what if that's the biggest lie? What if your child's invisible friend is actually a doorway to something real? Childhood mediumship is a topic most people are too scared to talk about, yet it could explain why some kids see, hear, and know things no adult can. In this video, you're going to uncover the shocking signs your child may be a medium, and once you recognize them, you'll never look at childhood the same way again. Have you ever wondered why some kids seem to see or feel things that nobody else does? Childhood mediumship is the ability of children to sense or connect with spiritual realities beyond the physical world. It's not about fantasy or superstition, it's a natural gift that sometimes shows up very early in life. But here's the catch: not every sensitive child is a medium. That's where the real challenge begins for parents. A child's imagination is powerful, no doubt. They invent stories, imaginary friends, and entire worlds inside their heads. But mediumship is different. When a child describes details about people, places, or events they couldn't possibly know, that goes beyond simple imagination. It's as if they have access to information from a source that logic can't explain. That's when parents start asking, is this just a phase, or something deeper? The difference between natural sensitivity and mediumship often comes down to patterns and consistency. A sensitive child may occasionally get emotional or feel vibes from people around them. But a medium child will repeatedly show reactions that defy explanation, talking about deceased relatives they never met, feeling drained in certain environments, or showing empathy that seems far too advanced for their age. These aren't random quirks, they're signals. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean panicking or labeling the child right away. Instead, it's about observing with an open mind. Does your child experience these phenomena regularly? Do their descriptions hold specific details that go beyond just playing pretend? If yes, then what you're witnessing may be more than creativity, it could be the early signs of mediumship. And the deeper we go, the more fascinating and mysterious this journey becomes. One of the strongest clues that a child may have mediumship abilities is their emotional sensitivity. These kids don't just feel a little more than others, they absorb the emotions of people and environments like sponges. If someone around them is sad, anxious, or even angry, they might instantly reflect those feelings without knowing why. It's as if they're wired to pick up invisible emotional signals. Parents often notice sudden mood swings that seem to come out of nowhere. One moment, the child is joyful and playful, and the next, they're withdrawn, tearful, or even overwhelmed. There may be no logical reason, no fight, no event, but the shift is undeniable. This hypersensitivity can be beautiful, showing deep empathy, but also challenging because it drains their energy quickly. Medium children may also react strongly to certain environments. A crowded mall, a hospital, or even a family gathering might leave them exhausted or unsettled. While other kids run around without a care, they might cling to their parents, complain of feeling weird, or suddenly need to leave. These reactions are often dismissed as shyness or fussiness, but they could be early signs of spiritual sensitivity. What makes it tricky is that emotional intensity in children isn't always tied to mediumship, it can be part of normal development. But when these emotional waves are constant, extreme, and clearly connected to specific people or places, it may reveal something deeper. And if emotional reactions can tell us so much, imagine what happens when these children start talking about their invisible friends. Almost every child, at some point, invents an imaginary friend. It's part of healthy play and creativity. But when parents hear their child describing these friends with names, personalities, and even emotions as if they're real, things get interesting. Could this be simple imagination, or is the child actually connecting with spiritual presences? That's the fine line between play and mediumship. Ordinary imaginary friends often change like the weather, one week it's a dragon, the next it's a superhero. But when a child insists on the same invisible companion for months, describing consistent details like appearance, voice, or even what the friend likes and dislikes, it's different. That level of consistency is a possible marker of mediumship rather than pure fantasy. Some children even reveal information they couldn't possibly know, claiming their invisible friend told them. Stories about deceased relatives they never met, or specific facts about strangers, are not the kind of things kids can simply invent. For many parents, this moment becomes a turning point. What if the invisible friend isn't imaginary at all? Of course, not every invisible companion is cause for alarm. Sometimes it's just creativity blossoming. The real question is whether the friend behaves more like a playmate or like a spiritual guide. And as we dig deeper, another layer of mystery opens. What about the vivid dreams and haunting nightmares these children often experience? For many medium children, sleep is not just rest, it's a portal. Their dreams are often more vivid, colorful, and realistic than those of other kids. Parents sometimes hear them describe encounters with people who have passed away, giving details they shouldn't know. To the child, these dreams feel less like imagination and more like actual visits. That can be fascinating, and also unsettling. Nightmares are another piece of the puzzle. While most children have the occasional bad dream, medium children may experience terrifying, recurring ones that feel too real. They might wake up crying, sweating, or insisting that someone was in the room. These intense night terrors could be a way their subconscious processes spiritual energy they don't fully understand. Visions during waking hours add another layer. Some children report seeing figures, lights, or shadows while fully awake, visions that seem out of place in the physical world. Parents often dismiss these accounts as overactive imagination, but when the child insists repeatedly, with the same description, it may hint at a deeper connection to the unseen. The key is helping children process these experiences in a safe, supportive way. Instead of scaring them into silence, parents can gently ask questions, listen, and reassure. The goal is not to push them toward or away from spirituality, but to guide them with balance. Because if their dreams and visions hold meaning, the next question is, how do they know things they were never taught? Sometimes, the most chilling sign of childhood mediumship isn't what kids see, it's what they know. Imagine your child casually describing a place they've never visited, yet the details match perfectly. Or talking about an ancestor who passed away long before they were born, with names and habits they couldn't possibly have learned. This is where parents stop and think, where is this knowledge coming from? Children with mediumship abilities often reveal information that feels impossible. They might talk about historical events, family secrets, or even specific dates connected to people who are gone. These aren't vague guesses, they're detailed, precise, and often verifiable. It's as if their mind is tuning into a frequency that most of us can't hear. And that raises both awe and questions. Parents who notice these patterns often start documenting what their child says. Writing down the exact words, places, or names can reveal shocking accuracy later on. Some families discover that their child's statements line up with old photos, family records, or testimonies from elders. The mystery deepens when children provide knowledge no one in the household even knew until later research confirmed it. Of course, skeptics might argue that kids pick things up from TV, books, or overheard conversations. And yes, sometimes that's true. But when the knowledge is too specific, too personal, and too consistent, coincidence becomes harder to explain. And if knowledge can't be dismissed, the next question emerges, is this really mediumship, or could it be something else entirely? One of the biggest fears parents face is confusing spiritual sensitivity with a psychological condition. After all, behaviors like hearing voices, seeing figures, or having sudden mood swings can sound like signs of a disorder. But here's the truth, not every unusual experience points to a medical problem. Some children may be experiencing genuine mediumship, yet the overlap can make things incredibly confusing. The key difference often lies in consistency and context. Psychological disorders tend to show patterns that disrupt daily life across all areas, school, friendships, routines. Mediumship, on the other hand, may appear in specific situations, around certain people, in particular places, or during emotionally charged moments. The child may still function well in other areas, which makes the distinction clearer. That doesn't mean parents should ignore professional guidance. On the contrary, seeking evaluation from doctors and psychologists is essential. A medical check helps rule out conditions that require treatment. At the same time, it prevents labeling a spiritual phenomenon as a disorder. When both perspectives are respected, families can create a balanced approach instead of swinging to extremes. What truly matters is careful observation and open communication. Does the child's behavior show harm, danger, or severe dysfunction? Or does it reveal patterns tied more to emotional or spiritual sensitivity? Answering these questions requires patience, honesty, and sometimes expert help. Because once the line is clearer, parents can shift their focus to what really matters: how to support a child who may be walking between two worlds. For a child with mediumship abilities, the family's reaction can make all the difference. Fear, denial, or even ridicule can leave deep scars, while support and understanding create safety. The key is balance, neither overreacting with panic nor glorifying the child as special in a way that pressures them. What they need most is a calm environment where their experiences are acknowledged without judgment. Creating a safe space starts with simple listening. When a child describes what they see, feel, or know, parents don't have to confirm or deny. It's enough to stay present and curious. Asking gentle questions like "How does that make you feel?" helps the child feel heard, not dismissed. This builds trust, so they won't hide their experiences out of fear of being mocked or misunderstood. Setting boundaries is just as important. Children need to understand that their sensitivity doesn't mean they can avoid responsibilities or rules. By keeping daily routines, homework, chores, playtime, parents show them that mediumship is part of who they are, but not all they are. This balance prevents the child from feeling overwhelmed by a gift they don't fully understand yet. Most importantly, families should respond with love, not fear. Whether these experiences are spiritual, psychological, or a mix of both, the child is still just a child, needing stability, patience, and guidance. And once that foundation is secure, the next step becomes clearer: how can families protect the child's energy and guide them to use their sensitivity in healthy ways? Medium children often feel like they're walking around with their antenna turned on 24/7. They pick up emotions, energies, and atmospheres that others can easily ignore. That's why teaching them simple energy protection techniques is so important. Just like we show kids how to wash their hands to avoid germs, they can also learn small rituals to keep their inner world safe. One effective method is visualization. Parents can guide the child to imagine a bubble of light around them, golden, white, or even their favorite color. This energy shield acts as a filter, letting in love but keeping out negativity. It might sound playful, but for sensitive kids, these mental tools become powerful anchors that reduce fear and overwhelm. The home environment also plays a huge role. Keeping the house peaceful, with calm routines, uplifting music, and even natural elements like plants or sunlight, helps balance the child's energy. Parents might notice that clutter, chaos, or tension in the household magnifies the child's sensitivity. Creating harmony at home is like giving them spiritual oxygen. Most importantly, protection should never feel like a burden. Children must learn that sensitivity is a gift to be respected, not a curse to be feared. With gentle guidance, they'll discover how to manage their gift without being consumed by it. And once protection is in place, the next question emerges: how will this gift shape their emotional, social, and even academic growth? A child with mediumship abilities doesn't just experience the spiritual world, they also face challenges in the social one. At school, they may feel different, isolated, or misunderstood by peers. While other kids are focused on games and friendships, the medium child might be distracted by energies or experiences that no one else notices. This can create a gap that parents and teachers must bridge with empathy. Emotionally, these children often mature faster than expected. Their sensitivity makes them deeply compassionate, but also vulnerable to overwhelm. They might cry easily, worry about others, or even take on burdens that aren't theirs. When guided well, this emotional depth becomes a strength, turning them into natural leaders or healers. Without support, however, it can spiral into anxiety or withdrawal. Academically, concentration may be a challenge. Imagine trying to focus on math problems while also feeling the energy of everyone in the classroom. For some children, their gift can be distracting, leading to frustration or lower performance. That's why collaboration with teachers is essential, helping them understand the child's unique needs without labeling them as problem students. With the right balance, these children can thrive socially, emotionally, and academically. Families that embrace both the gift and the challenge teach resilience and adaptability. But for parents, one crucial question remains: when is it time to seek outside help, and how do you ensure your child's gift is respected, not exploited? Sometimes, the signs of mediumship cross a line where professional guidance becomes essential. If a child's experiences cause extreme fear, disrupt daily routines, or impact their health, it's not something parents should handle alone. Seeking help doesn't mean rejecting spirituality, it means ensuring the child's well-being from every angle. The goal is safety, not skepticism. Professionals come in many forms. A psychologist can help distinguish between imagination, disorder, and genuine sensitivity. Spiritual mentors or trusted faith leaders may provide guidance rooted in wisdom and tradition. Parents should carefully choose who to consult, making sure these voices respect the child and don't impose fear, shame, or dogma. Balance is everything. Ethical considerations also play a major role. Children should never be exploited for their gifts, pushed into performing their mediumship, or treated as entertainment. Their privacy must be protected, especially in an age of social media where personal stories can be exposed too easily. Parents are guardians not only of the child's safety but of their dignity. The ultimate responsibility is to help the child integrate their gift with a normal, happy childhood. With love, boundaries, and professional guidance when needed, mediumship can develop in a healthy way, without taking away their innocence. And this brings us full circle. Childhood mediumship is not a curse, nor a miracle to flaunt, it's a delicate gift that must be nurtured with wisdom. So now you know the signs, the patterns, and the hidden clues that could reveal if your child is more than just sensitive, but truly gifted with mediumship. The real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you ignore it, or will you guide your child with love, wisdom, and balance? Tell me in the comments, have you ever noticed strange dreams, invisible friends, or unexplainable knowledge in your own child? Your story might help another parent out there who's searching for answers. If this video opened your eyes, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications, because in the next videos, we'll go even deeper into the mysteries of childhood mediumship. And remember this, what seems invisible to the world, might be the very thing shaping your child's destiny.